cast iron.
Where we head to the ship.
Whatever you want to do, don't worry. Your cabins, you make sure your bags, and then. Hey, Captain. We're bringing you with us. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Less ice.
Warmer. Hello. Welcome aboard.
Alicia. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hello. I'm Alex. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome on board. My name is Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome.
I'm
Please-
Alex. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Alex and Alexia. It's gonna be easy to remember.
Yeah.
I will show you a cabin.
Whoa.
Welcome to your room, which is gonna be your home for the next couple of days.
This is so beautiful.
It's gonna be awesome to have you on board.
Hello everyone, welcome on board MS Freya. So I'm the captain here on board. I've been working up in the Arctic since 2016 and on board Freya since 2018.
On behalf of Secret Atlas, welcome you on board Freya. We're pretty excited about this trip, and we're excited to have you on board.
Exciting day already.
Yeah, isn't it?
Remember to take my hat this time.
free seating for the tables 1, 2, and 3.
People want to.
Hello.
Very good start, I must say. The belugas, they are my favorite. They are a little bit shy, so it's hard.
So now on to the main event. For tonight, I'm going to be serving you fried pork shoulder with an herb marinade. Dessert, we're doing vanilla ice cream with a rhubarb and strawberry sauce, topped with some roasted white chocolate. Hope you all enjoy.
There's everything at the farm.
Not the turkeys, no. That's we buy it from a different farm, but it's also green ecological farm. Bon appetit.
Well, cheers, guys. First meal on the Freya. Excited to be here with you all.
That was a cheers for 1.5 million people. See what I did there? Yeah.
So it was not due to stay.
Oh, it's pork?
It's a bit complicated, but they are building new. The thing is, they don't want the town to grow.
What
Stage was rough.
Too small for people.
There's just no stopping.
Managing the
go to these comps as independents because we didn't have a team to work under.
Marie was eager for some dessert. Here we go. I will get your dessert when you're ready for it, Minister. Here we go.
Thank you, Mark.
Like the new hot springs in like middle of the country where you
So Ben, have you
like no one.
wildlife
Nowadays they're all in the Google Maps.
isn't really like your
In Kamchatka, when we go on the hot
your
springs,
personal.
Photos or
I went with her last
play,
year.
essentially.
When we disembarked from the cruise, we took me on the right road. Not to go into the interior. We don't have ice caps.
Yeah. So
We
he's doing
have
that.
ice.
Belugas.
It's like, what? Don't say that. No, but I mean, if you do something, yeah. I think French people are very good at just staying with each other. But I would say nog even iets smaller together and also guys it can go less and also change company so I don't like stay by company. It's not big.
Spend some time at home.
Oh yeah. And then kind of grow.
When you went home for a month.
No, it was there like I say.
So you do food in every place as well? Yes.
A lot was coming with the mail. And then it started 3 days a week. Oh, it's very nice. Legal right, the mail, the mail,
So if you go like further on land, Brandon, Pittsburgh, so it's much less population than but some of them they stay on the coast and they feed on sea, I'm assuming. It's harder for them to survive in summer. You're very good, right?
They will find you sooner or later if you stay over there.
This one? There you go. And I'm gonna put you right up here. Now. So photogenic. Like, it's bright pink. And so are his legs. Really, really loving mothers. It's actually quite extraordinary. Losing the ice very, very fast, the glacial ice. And then the extent of the sea ice, the frozen ocean, we're seeing less and less of it each year. The light, the spectrums of light come in, it's refracting everything except for the blue, and it absorbs the blue, and everything else bounces off of it. So it has it's an algae. Yeah. That chunk of ice is upright. We got a fancy device.
Oh, you got
no
a
box
fancy
to
device.
step
No
in.
box. Wow.
So sweet, hard it works.
Right on shore, right at the edge of the water. The water could make that extra disappear, which she said because of the way my heart beats, she said the shock could, my heart goes.
Reindeer meatballs with lingonberry sauce.
Oh, really? Yes.
So put mustard on top of it.
Mustard on top of it?
And then
So mix with everything. Yeah. So I don't know if you heard, but oh, sorry. You explain.
you, no.
Yes, this is the yellow pea soup. You have this one. This one is without meat, but this is with meat. On top, you have raw onion. You put it on the soup, and you have mustard on top. And the traditions say if you finish your bowl, if you eat it all, then you're allowed to have some pancakes. One shot for you? Yes. I will bring it, of course. Yeah, for sure. Not in the soup.
Pepsi Max.
Right. And I will fetch you some new glass for you.
Yeah, it's only in the protected area. So if you're not, and also if you want.
We only speak most people in the United States speak one language. You speak more than us.
No, they look like almost like raspberries, but yellow.
Like
And,
here on the West Coast,
then you have to
usually
go
it's
to the,
about
how do you
middle
say,
of August.
We just whack her in the head, maybe she'll stop thinking.
I'm not thinking.
I'm not sure.
And also the male and female are separated.
When wildlife shows up, see what the glacier does. Sometimes the glaciers themselves do really amazing things, like we get calvings. See what happens. I remember those days. This is called Spearenberg Brand. Unfortunately, this glacier, just like all the glaciers in Svalbard, we're losing them. We're losing all the glaciers in the world. Surfacing right there, maybe a bait ball. So the fish start to swirl in a circle, and the birds can spot them from above. How close do you think that is? Right there?
200. 500.
It's easy to stay up all night. And you can see over here on the right, like as the glacier becomes grounded out, there's just not much left of it. There's a lot of changes. There's winners and losers in the wild world.
I was talking about the tide sizes up here.
thinks that we're inside the glacier.
Because it's melting.
It's receded so far. That's a kittiwake. So, take a look at that. See, so few air bubbles. Guys, here's my theory. If this didn't melt, we'd be putting it on rings and proposing marriage with it because it is more beautiful than the best diamond. So probably about 13,000 years old. Would you like to have this in your gin and tonic tonight?
Oh my god!
That was a big smile. Yeah, give it to her. Come on, it's your turn.
Oh! So black. Oh, eyes to see. No, you can't see them. Oh, so black.
It doesn't seem from here like it's a lot going into it.
I think the two of you have the first.
Good evening.
Good evening.
That's
Welcome.
the least fun part of it. You want to experience something. So for tonight, I'm gonna be serving you a shellfish soup, served together with crayfish, some leek, and some carrots. And we're doing fried cod with a potato and root celery puree with peppercorn sauce.
Oh, yeah.
I took these fish.
That's pretty
Cheers. Oh, it was the perfect timing. Some starters.
Thank you. Ooh, it's pretty.
Look at this. What a teamwork. Bernard was a gentleman.
Melbourne and Sydney. They're not as good as here though. Maybe Melbourne. We don't know Melbourne that well. My
You
company.
know that the
future Norwegian queen. Oh, not
Yes.
at the moment, but like.
Yes, exactly.
And the Danish queen is
She
Tasmanian.
was celebrating.
We're gonna head up to the pack ice.
Yeah. Woo!
So what the pack ice is means frozen ocean. So be excited, you will be excited.
Any other question?
So we'll still be seeing.
Here we go.
Thank you. Wow.
This is cod.
Yes.
Fish. Whereas tropics fish tends to be a lot more delicate. It's beautiful, but easy to open.
Which pub is that?
Wait, wait.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a nightmare that it's in January. Go.
Yeah. Hot chocolate, cold chocolate, just chocolate.
I finished.
Take the jacket.
Before finishing, it's going to be.
I can try with your camera. See if I can get it. Thank you very much. Yeah. Sometimes when you get up close, though, they can look white, but through binoculars from a distance, they always look a little bit off. She has a lower ice class than Freya.
New Zealand is a big fruit.
You feel like you're back in Greenland now?
Yeah. I'm very happy with it.
Such a strange landscape.
Yeah, so we are just following this here now. So that's what we see in front of us.
Organize a meeting.
Yeah.
We've found bears with their butts up in the air and their heads down in the water. And people are like, what's going on there? And then you get up to the bear and you realize it's dead. What's happened is the bear clamped onto a bearded seal from the surface, and it got its canines into the skull. And the seal, just like the best thing I can describe it as, a crocodile does that, like kind of that death roll. The seal will spin to try to get away, and the teeth will be locked into the skull. We've all seen
They come from American also, that's great.
We've all seen The Big Lebowski, right? Yeah. He's the narrator of The Big Lebowski. Nope. So what you can't see is his door. Oh, look at that movement.
That's a race.
No.
That makes a great video. Really good.
More things that I really want to see. Of course, I want to see an ice bear, but I'm not like just enjoying it more.
You can relax, enjoy it. Welcome. Lunch is ready. Come.
Thank you.
Today we're serving pasta with bolognese, salad, and different varieties of sauces, of course.
And that's very the sauce.
Mine.
Oh,
It's I would say depends. Medium hot.
where would you like to be seated? The world is yours. Sorry, Bernard. No, please. I can squeeze in.
Hello.
So today we have pasta.
That's my orientation because orientation of the times and eating. Lina said, please, I'm not hungry.
Har du inte sett min lilla flagga som jag har på min?
Tiene lo que hay kostlistor så det är rätt syns.
Welcome in pasta.
Yes, he needs. He could eat it every day.
Is there salad and you pay your
When you ski,
employee?
would you
Yeah.
ski typically?
So what's your favorite country so far?
Okay, it's life out on the sea ice. It's a symbiotic relationship, right? The polar bear must have the sea ice to exist. And so, what countries? We call them the range states. So you have Canada, you have the U.S., you have Russia, you have Denmark with Greenland. Oftentimes, you can identify a male by you'll see all kinds of battle scars all over their face, their snout, and the cream you had on your pancakes. Right? That's how thick that's how fatty that milk is. So
Dinner.
I like this.
Future, man, I'm telling you, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's also, I don't know, if somebody's constantly recording it, it's interesting. I think you just have to limit the fact.
How do you say it in Romanian? Oh, that is really good. I would like to take care of the boys.
Thank you very much.
We're not
So, enjoy.
Looks amazing, thank you. I don't know what's the big trouble. You are already,
If you die, you die.
but you get in big trouble.
So many of those graves are from early settlers and quickly decided allowed forward.
It's like on a mirror. I think so. I'm in Bolivia.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Thank you.
I would like a very good hot chocolate.
Well, then you have
So there are huskies there, and you can.
yeah. Sometimes in the cafe. So you might be there. It's super cute.
Amazing.
Yeah, but nice. That's a long way. That's a really long way. We talked first about going circumnavigating, but
A dancing polo way.
And that's the perfect bait.
It was in the back. But
It is. Another one that popped up in the.
I think it was taken from a ship.
You get down here.
At the end is a little silver ball bearing that runs down a chute.
You want to trail this up? Okay, so brown. He looks like a grizzly bear. It's in that snowbank. So guys, it looks just like a rock from here. I mean, it is so dirty. He's rolling around. A bit of a... Oh my god, that's adorable. There you go, Moody Bear. And now the Sun King. Yeah, let's go see what's around this point down there. They're really unbelievable.
She's in the back.
Not normal walrus behavior. I love seeing what's around the next corner.
worked in restaurants.
This is Fito yesterday, this morning.
Where?
Fito in the other boat, on the boat.
They showed me on the map. Not far from here.
Same spot. Yeah,
It's on the, she said it's on the other side.
yeah, this is honestly.
They want to chat. They probably enjoy
They switch me on the CV and say, you know, I'm working off on East 45 and I got myself.
A whole lot of we don't know, which is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of it.
Remember, this is fun. You're happy for real. Did you see anything good this morning? Thank you, Sophie.
Will we sleep around the rocks?
These ice caps is up to like 200,000 years old, so these guys were coming here to do this kind of research. This hut is still used today by UNIS, the university here in Svalbard, and geologists mostly come up here and use it. It depends on as the systems come through, but yeah, we get a lot of our systems coming out of the west and coming up that Gulf Stream, coming up with that. It's an exploration, isn't it? Like, it's crazy.
This is a mansion. So
Four bears outside, you don't need to like get the whole window broken and like start shooting. You can like take a look and shoot. That's for sure. I'll move in.
Man körde över den och tryckte ner botten.
But perhaps he didn't get that it was half.
Yes. You're gonna tell me something strange.
Michelle? Michi?
Oh, what do I have?
Soya protein?
What do you think of?
And at the moment,
Soya protein, kidney beans,
Korean.
yeah, yellow beans.
Looks very convincing.
Indian's been there a long time.
Looks convincing. Good. If
I
you,
just remembered.
if you shot it, I would eat it.
Yeah.
Holy Mountain.
So this wedding,
It's a big Greek community.
yeah? Just use it to update family and friends.
You should use it.
Huh?
You should use it.
There's a lot of people in my, like in this line of work, that
We left that one. We said that's going to be a holiday. That was something that
How you? How we doing, Deep? It's rowdy in here tonight.
Come jump a little bit.
There's a blue whale. Luke.
And the whales.
Here. Right here. It just came up and went down. Right here.
It's white. And it's not just the cliffs themselves, like you can see birds all over the water.
Pretty.
Okay, just about everybody. Okay, cool.
How many do you want?
here's a good photo opportunity.
Look at this beautiful color of the water.
No white thread. Is it red?
It's brown.
It's pink. Or red.
Other were they're red. That's what you said it as. 390 years ago.
And then there is the layer of thickness, like the grayer one. And then it's like, it's kind of pinkish red.
It's marble.
He was eating it.
Our first hike together in polar bear habitat. Looks like pretty easy terrain to see for a distance. It's very, very simple. The fox just pulls the bait, the stick collapses, and the fox gets trapped under the rocks. It's a tough way to go.
Jawbone, teeth.
So it has a teeth still in it.
Score. I think this is from a seal, maybe.
Oh, yeah?
But seal will have these snowflake-style teeth. And what they can do is seal can also eat krill and eat really small things. They can be 300 years old. That flower. It's amazing. Coppice flower. And it starts its bloom from south to north. Look how many. Holy man. The walrus is going to swim down, put its suction cup right on the top of the head, and pop the top off, and breathes right out of the harbor seal. For real. Yeah, I think we're finding the remnants of a bear kill.
Press that down in my bag.
It's an expensive shoe.
Is it? It looks expensive.
Yeah. You'll never want to lose it.
You're lucky she was available.
But there will probably be something else on chocolate tomorrow.
All right. The fika today is the thickest ficas.
Oh, is this marshmallows?
Yeah.
So how do they get it?
And the really cold water like preserves it.
How do they get it from the bottom of the ocean?
They dive. And then they like put inflatable floats on it.
Oh.
It's true.
Yeah.
They'd be very
I think
long
they do.
and straight.
Yeah, they're milled. It's just like this.
Like a very good line on the beach.
There are huts all over the archipelago.
Dessert.
You didn't answer, did you, about the Rockborough?
Well, no.
Always awake. Maybe 1 and 4 o'clock.
Thank goodness my parents couldn't track me on a map. Take me home.
Sometimes I need to.
And I know how your deal is that we go.
Sometimes the friends of it.
No, it's always Detroit.
No. It's, my house is in
It's nice for everybody. You know, like, you kind of like, all right, now you have like.
It will fall all. It's fighting goal.
Have you been on her sister? This what's her name?
View in front of us. Look at that, rising out of the depths.
You never know when and where.
Sure, it's not like a two-stage level, but it's not.
Friday moved again.
You got a hijab.
Yeah, that's our plan.
Yeah.
Hijab.
It was a big day yesterday.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, our day started at like 3 o'clock in the morning with Alcatele Cliff.
Yeah.
And up there, that's one of the geothermals. A night hill across this hill and over towards that. So watch your footing. How's that? Get on that rock? Okay, yeah. Step across to this one. Yeah, step across.
I don't know if all of you heard, but the mountain behind me is
huge ridge. It's called Sverigefjället. That's the old volcano that Jeff mentioned.
And you didn't bring your bathing suit?
My understanding is it's very toxic. It's not very hot. It's about, the water comes out at 24 degrees.
Wow. How cool is that?
Serving pie. It's ham with cheese, and the vegetarian alternative is with asparagus. Please enjoy.
But you had fun afterwards, right? Yeah.
Oh my god. Would you like something for it? Mustard is good. How do
The official language is Swiss. So the more difficult it doesn't work like that. So in fact, northern Norway is often easy to understand.
Not the usual thing is because the other side of this little fjord.
I don't use this pipe, but I have used the air horn a couple of times and the mountain.
It's funny that that's the famous Australian. It's definitely gonna happen here. Oh, the sound.
That is incredible.
Like I said, if it didn't melt, we'd propose marriage with them. Huge.
There.
It's gonna be much bigger. Oh, look at the shooter. Look at it rising. Look at it rising. Now it's gonna fall over. That's all the rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. We'll drop everybody off right now and we'll move straight into doing polar plunge.
Alright, cool.
Jeff has that excuse?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my slippers, put something on my feet.
The strength to get out. You got to climb a ladder to get out. So, give this a read over. Give it the.
Me.
Slot, I guess, all.
Give it all to me.
All to them.
I take them all.
So, we can check off.
Out of the sauna into it.
Say goodbye.
I will jump. I will go slow.
Now you can check you up.
Oh, it's like the Maldives.
Yeah, Mom.
Oh God. Oh God.
Don't pull the ship.
Wow, you made that look effortless.
Yeah.
Good work.
You put the bars.
Come on.
Get better.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Good job.
Who wants to go again? Yaroslava. It's very important. It's almost as important as Vegemite. So I can message you, say, hi mate, how you doing? Mate. Or, mate. So there's lots of ways. It's a very powerful word.
Foundation of, yeah.
Or offer some.
How's everybody doing after their swims? Yeah. And the smallbird harbor seal is the northernmost harbor seals in the world.
Huh.
And there's a harbor seal right behind us. So now it's Lloyd's Hotel. But what it became and what it is now is it's a refuge hut. So if you were out here in the middle of winter and you needed a place just to
Did you knock on the door?
I don't think anyone's home.
look at all this.
There is no Star Wars fans out here.
No Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Well, hello there.
I'm getting seen.
Being on a ship is a funny thing.
Newcastle on time.
What did they do? They walked all over the ground.
Island can be the same.
It's okay. I'm not.
8 checks is that. They operate like from the Cape Town and then Hurtigruten on the mainland.
That's good. Those are key moments to have.
Yeah,
Fire dart. Really dark.
might be allowed. Because
Thank you very much.
happy midday.
The Australian had to start it.
Hey guys, here's the you guys being here summertime in
Sure, Jeff.
Skål!
They all look like somebody's made them.
Yeah, but we haven't made.
So far so good.
We're actually not far at all.
Better take that. No, what am I doing?
It's big, you know.
And the others.
Uploaded yesterday.
Yeah. That's the good thing with having a.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
But the very steep part needs to slope. It's very small. So cute.
Yours not bad, Jeff. Today we're serving a sausage stew with rice, salad, a little different varieties of sauces. I hope you will enjoy it. I get it.
If I can. I just want to take one picture.
Över halva har gått, inte alla som har kommit.
Did you do anything about your flights through Doha?
It's been lovely to have you on board. I can't.
Yeah, I do like that.
As well, because they fixed it, the voice, and
Är det favorit? Ja. Jag försökte förklara.
But it's like nobody got it, so.
No, and this is not open even.
This, yeah, this one, right?
Yeah.
There, get it?
Crew are so friendly.
Oh, fantastic. And
I can sit down.
the arrival I made perfectly timed.
This three in a row.
That's nice. Super nice. Maybe someone on board made them.
Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to Longyearbyen. It's been very special, but also I hope you had a lot of fun doing that. And then of course we have this corrupt airways.
My water here.
The whole thing. I didn't get that.
Fine.
But do you know why they canceled?
Nope. No information.
This is in the same group as Air France
Yeah.
and KLM,
Yeah.
which is.
I told you it was dangerous like any other airport in the US.
Really?
Yeah.
When I went to Antarctica, I
They're gonna stay for a week, and then we go to Scotland and Edinburgh.
This, I said this to you before. The ship is pretty quick.
They're gone.
I've been on boats before.
They're gone.
You feel like the anchor chains.
You could teach us.
So it's just the first edition. We're gonna try it out, especially on Greenland. And I mean, if you do something special, you should be remarked for it and get a certificate, of course.
Stamped and signed by the captain.
Sort of thing. So
Tomorrow, somebody's birthday. Someone told us she likes tiramisu. So we have made a birthday tiramisu.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alexia. Happy birthday to you.
I'll always come back with a pile of tsunami. You're doing a bad job.
I did 2 months. 6 months.
You take care.
You too.
You're packing.
Thank you so